Gentlemen, I'm Dr. Shalene Jomas, and for over 20 years as a urologist and sexual health specialist, I've sat across from thousands of men over 60 who've shared something deeply personal with me. They tell me about the frustration, the embarrassment, the quiet sadness of watching intimacy fade from their marriage. They describe lying awake at night, wondering if their wife still finds them desirable. They ask me with hope fading in their eyes, "Doc, is this just how it is now? Is the passion really over?" And gentlemen, I want you to hear this clearly today. No, it absolutely does not have to be this way. What if I told you there's a completely natural 2-minute technique that can help you last longer, finish with more control, and reignite the passion your wife remembers from your younger years? Not pills, not expensive supplements, not awkward devices. Just a simple method that works with your body's own design, something you can start using tonight in the privacy of your own bedroom. I'm sharing this with you today because I've seen this technique transform marriages. I've watched men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s walk back into my office with their heads held high, telling me their wives can't keep their hands off them. I've received tearful thank you calls from couples who'd resigned themselves to a passionless existence, now experiencing intimacy they didn't think was possible anymore. Stay with me for the next few minutes because what I'm about to share with you is discreet, dignified, and designed specifically for mature men who want to honor their wife with the kind of passionate connection she deserves. This isn't about embarrassing techniques or uncomfortable conversations. This is about reclaiming what's rightfully yours, a fulfilling, intimate life with the woman you love. Section 1. Understanding the problem. Gentlemen, let me speak to you doctor to patient here. As we move past 60, our bodies undergo natural changes. I'm not telling you anything you haven't experienced yourself. You've noticed that what used to be automatic now requires more thought. What used to last 30 or 40 minutes might now be over in 5 or 10. The intensity that once made both of you breathless might feel diminished. Let me explain what's actually happening inside your body because understanding this is the first step to fixing it. First, there's blood flow. As we age, the small blood vessels throughout our body, including those in the pelvic region, can become less efficient. Think of it like older plumbing in a house. The pipes still work, but the pressure isn't quite what it used to be. This affects both your ability to achieve and maintain firmness, and it impacts your stamina. Second, and this is what most men don't realize, there's a group of muscles in your pelvic floor, the same ones that control urination, that play a massive role in your intimate performance. These muscles, called the pubococcygeus, or PC muscles, control ejaculation timing, the strength of your climax, and even the angle and firmness of your erection. But here's the problem. After decades of sitting at desks, in cars, on couches, these muscles have weakened without you even knowing it. It's like having a car with a weak suspension. Everything still works technically, but the ride isn't smooth, the control isn't there, and things wear out faster. Third, there are hormonal shifts. Testosterone naturally declines about 1 to 2% per year after age 30. By the time you're 70, you might have 40% less testosterone than you did in your prime. This affects your drive, your stamina, and your recovery time between intimate encounters. Let me tell you about Robert, a 67-year-old patient of mine. He came to me absolutely defeated. He told me, "Doc, I love my wife more than anything in this world. We've been married 42 years, but I can't satisfy her anymore. It's over too fast, and I can see the disappointment in her eyes even though she tries to hide it. I feel like I'm failing her as a husband." Gentlemen, I hear this story almost every single day, and the emotional toll is devastating. It's not just about physical pleasure, though that matters. It's about feeling like a man. It's about seeing desire in your wife's eyes. It's about that intimate connection that sustained your marriage through decades of challenges. When intimacy suffers, everything suffers. Communication becomes strained. You start avoiding situations that might lead to the bedroom because you're afraid of disappointing her again. She starts wondering if you still find her attractive. The distance grows, and what was once the most natural expression of your love becomes a source of anxiety and pain. But here's what I've learned in 20 years of helping men just like you. Your body still has everything it needs to perform. You just need to activate it correctly. You need to work with your physiology, not against it. Section 2. Why pills and quick fixes fail. Now, I know many of you have tried the pills, Viagra, Cialis, maybe some supplements you saw advertised online. And I'm not here to tell you those never work. They can provide temporary assistance. But let me explain, doctor to patient, why they're not the real answer you're looking for. First, these medications only address blood flow. They're essentially forcing your blood vessels to dilate, creating more circulation to the pelvic area. That can help with firmness, yes. But they do absolutely nothing for your stamina, your control, or your climax intensity. Many men tell me they take the pill, they achieve firmness, but they still finish in 5 minutes and leave their wife unsatisfied. The fundamental problem, weak pelvic muscles and poor ejaculatory control, remains completely unaddressed. Second, there are the side effects: headaches, facial flushing, vision changes, dangerous drops in blood pressure if you're on certain heart medications. I've had patients end up in the emergency room because they mixed their blood pressure medication with these pills. And let's be honest, nothing kills the romantic mood faster than a pounding headache or a bright red face. Third, and this is critical, gentlemen, these are temporary band-aids. The effect wears off in a few hours, and you're right back where you started. You become dependent on them. You can't have spontaneous intimacy with your wife because you need to plan ahead, take a pill, wait 30 to 60 minutes. Where's the passion in that? Where's the natural masculine confidence? As for supplements, the horny goat weed, the maca root, the proprietary blends promising miracles, I'll be blunt with you. The supplement industry is largely unregulated. You don't really know what you're getting. Most of these products have minimal scientific backing, and many of my patients have spent hundreds or thousands of dollars with zero results. I had a patient named George, 71 years old, who'd spent over $3,000 on various supplements over 2 years. He had a cabinet full of bottles. When I asked him if any of it worked, he just shook his head sadly and said, "Doc, I'm still here asking for help, aren't I?" Here's the truth that the pharmaceutical companies don't want you to know. Your body already has the mechanisms for incredible intimate performance. You don't need to put foreign substances in it. You need to strengthen what's already there. You need to retrain the muscles and neural pathways that control your stamina and intensity. That's exactly what this 2-minute technique does, and it costs you nothing except a small daily investment of time. Section 3. The big reveal. So what is this technique I keep mentioning? Gentlemen, I want you to lean in and pay close attention, because what I'm about to teach you has been validated by decades of urology and sexual health research. It's based on the same principles we use in medical pelvic floor therapy, but simplified for you to do at home in complete privacy. I call it the 2-minute pelvic control method, and it consists of 3 components that work together synergistically. First, targeted PC muscle contractions that rebuild the strength in your pelvic floor, the muscles that directly control ejaculation timing and climax intensity. Second, a specific breathing pattern that activates your parasympathetic nervous system, helping you maintain arousal while delaying climax. Third, a mental focus technique that retrains the neural pathway between your brain and your pelvic region, giving you conscious control over what used to be an automatic too-fast response. Together, these 3 elements create what I call extended arousal control. You'll be able to maintain high levels of pleasure and firmness while consciously choosing when to finish, giving you the stamina to fully satisfy your wife the way you did in your younger years. The beauty of this method is its simplicity. 2 minutes of practice per day, every day for the first 2 weeks, then 2 minutes before intimacy every single time. That's it. No special equipment, no uncomfortable positions. Just you in private, doing simple exercises that your body will respond to almost immediately. Remember Robert, the 67-year-old I mentioned earlier? After I taught him this exact method, he came back to my office 6 weeks later. Gentlemen, he had tears in his eyes. He told me, "Doc, last weekend my wife and I had an intimate evening that lasted over 40 minutes. 40 minutes. She told me afterward she felt like she was with a young man again. I haven't seen her smile like that in years." That's the power of working with your body's natural design instead of fighting against it. Section 4. The science explained. Now let me explain exactly why this works, because I want you to understand the science so you can trust this method completely. Your pelvic floor muscles, specifically the PC muscle group, sit at the base of your pelvis, forming a hammock-like support structure. These muscles serve multiple functions. They control urination, support your internal organs, and most importantly, for our purposes, they control ejaculation and orgasm intensity. When these muscles are strong and under your conscious control, they act like a valve. During arousal, you can squeeze them to temporarily stop ejaculation, allowing you to continue intimacy for as long as you choose. Think of it like learning to control any other muscle in your body, your bicep, your calf. Right now, these muscles are weak and operating on autopilot. We're going to wake them up and put you back in the driver's seat. Here's the fascinating part. When you strengthen these muscles through targeted contractions, you're not just building muscle fiber. You're also increasing blood flow to the entire pelvic region. More blood flow means better, firmer, longer-lasting erections. It means more sensitivity during intimacy. It means stronger, more pleasurable climaxes when you do choose to finish. There's also a neurological component that's absolutely critical. Your brain and your pelvic region communicate through something called the pudendal nerve. This nerve carries signals in both directions. Arousal signals go up to your brain, and control signals come back down from your brain. In most men over 60, this neural pathway has become oversensitive in one direction and under-responsive in the other. Your brain receives arousal signals and immediately sends back a "finish now" command before you want to. The 2-minute pelvic control method retrains this pathway. You're essentially teaching your brain and body to communicate differently, to sustain high arousal without immediate climax. This is where the breathing component becomes crucial. When you breathe slowly and deeply, specifically through your nose for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, then exhale through your mouth for a count of 6, you activate your parasympathetic nervous system. This is the rest and digest system that counteracts your fight or flight response. Why does this matter? Because when you're anxious about your performance, your sympathetic nervous system kicks in. Your heart rate increases, your blood pressure rises, and your body goes into a state of tension that triggers premature ejaculation. By consciously activating your parasympathetic system through controlled breathing, you keep your body relaxed and aroused simultaneously. You stay in what I call the pleasure zone, instead of tipping over into the finish zone too quickly. There's also a hormonal element at play here. When you practice these exercises regularly, you're increasing local circulation, which helps maintain healthy testosterone levels in the tissues that matter most. You're also training your body to produce more dopamine and oxytocin during intimacy, the bonding hormones that make sex feel deeply connective and satisfying for both you and your wife. Think of this entire method like retraining for a sport you used to play. When you were younger, your body just knew what to do. The timing, the control, the stamina, it was all automatic. But decades of neglect, of sitting, of not actively engaging these muscles has caused them to atrophy and lose their coordination. We're essentially taking your body through athletic training, but focused on your intimate performance. Just like you wouldn't expect to run a marathon without training, you can't expect optimal bedroom performance without preparing the right muscles and neural pathways. The good news, this training is quick, private, and produces noticeable results within days. Section 5. Step-by-step instructions. All right, gentlemen. Here's exactly how to perform the 2-minute pelvic control method. I want you to follow these instructions precisely. Daily practice exercise. Do this every morning. Step 1. Find your PC muscles. The next time you're urinating, try to stop the stream mid-flow. The muscles you squeeze to do that? Those are your PC muscles. Don't do this regularly during urination. It's just to help you identify the right muscles. Once you know what they feel like, you'll practice while sitting or lying down. Step 2. Get into position. Sit comfortably in a chair with your back straight or lie down on your bed. Take 3 deep, slow breaths to relax your body. Step 3. Begin the contraction sequence. Squeeze your PC muscles as tightly as you can, like you're trying to stop urination, and pull everything upward. Hold this squeeze for a count of 5 seconds. You should feel a distinct tightening deep in your pelvic area, but your buttocks, thighs, and abdomen should stay relaxed. Focus only on the PC muscles. Step 4. Release and breathe. Let the muscles relax completely for 10 seconds while you take a slow, deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Step 5. Repeat. Do 10 of these 5-second contractions with 10-second rest periods. This entire sequence takes exactly 2 minutes. Common mistakes to avoid. Don't hold your breath during the contractions. Keep breathing naturally. Don't clench your buttocks or abs. Isolate the PC muscles only. Don't rush. Quality over speed. And don't skip days. Consistency is what builds strength. Before intimacy technique. About 5 to 10 minutes before you anticipate intimacy with your wife, do a quick activation sequence. 5 strong PC muscle squeezes, holding each for 3 seconds. This primes the muscles, bringing blood flow to the area and putting you in conscious control mode. During intimacy, when you feel yourself approaching climax too soon, here's what you do. Squeeze your PC muscles firmly and hold while simultaneously taking a deep breath in through your nose for 4 counts, holding for 4 counts, then exhaling slowly through your mouth for 6 counts. Pause all movement for these 15 seconds. This interrupts the ejaculation reflex and lets you reset. You can do this multiple times during a single intimate session. Each time you practice this, you're strengthening the neural pathway that gives you conscious control. Within a week or 2, you'll find you need to use this technique less frequently because your baseline control has improved dramatically. Section 6. Results and timeline. Now, gentlemen, let me tell you what to realistically expect because I want you to have clear, honest expectations. Night 1. The very first time you use the pause and breathe technique during intimacy, you'll likely extend your stamina by 5 to 10 minutes. It won't be perfect. You're just learning. But you and your wife will both notice the difference. Many of my patients report their wives asking, "What did you do differently tonight?" That first night alone can begin rebuilding your confidence. Week 1. After practicing the daily exercises for a week, your PC muscles are waking up. You'll notice stronger, firmer erections. You'll have better conscious control over your climax timing. Most men tell me they can last 20 to 30 minutes by the end of the first week, and they're enjoying every moment of it because they're no longer anxious about finishing too soon. Week 2 to 4. This is where the transformation becomes dramatic. Your PC muscles are now significantly stronger. The neural pathway between your brain and pelvis has been retrained. You can last as long as you want, 30, 40, even 50 minutes if that's what you and your wife enjoy. Your climaxes are more intense because you're using strengthened muscles. And here's something wonderful. Your wife will respond to your renewed confidence and stamina with increased desire and satisfaction. Patient testimonial graphic. I had a patient named Michael, 73 years old, who told me after 1 month of this method, "Doc, my wife initiated intimacy 3 times in 1 week. That hasn't happened in over a decade. She said she feels like she's got her passionate husband back. And honestly, I feel 20 years younger." Beyond 1 month. The benefits continue to compound. Many men report they can have satisfying intimate encounters more frequently, 3, 4, even 5 times per week, because they're not depleting themselves too quickly. They recover faster. Their wives are more eager and responsive. The entire dynamic of their marriage shifts because this fundamental connection has been restored. Gentlemen, I want you to understand something important. This isn't just about the physical act. When you can truly satisfy your wife, when you can see the pleasure and fulfillment in her eyes, it changes how you feel about yourself as a man. Your confidence returns. You walk taller. You feel more connected to her in every aspect of your relationship. Section 7. Bonus tips and warnings. Before we wrap up, let me give you 3 additional natural tips that will enhance your results even further. Bonus tip 1. Strategic nutrition. Certain foods naturally support blood flow and hormone production. Dark chocolate with at least 70% cocoa content contains flavonoids that improve circulation. Watermelon contains citrulline, which your body converts to arginine, an amino acid that improves blood flow to the pelvic region. Pumpkin seeds are rich in zinc, which supports healthy testosterone levels. I'm not saying these are magic foods, but incorporating them regularly can provide a noticeable boost to your results. Bonus. Tip 2. The 24-hour rule. If you're planning a special intimate evening with your wife, avoid alcohol for 24 hours beforehand. Alcohol is a depressant that weakens your PC muscle control and reduces blood flow. Even 2 drinks can significantly impact your performance. Instead, stay hydrated with water. Proper hydration improves blood circulation throughout your body, including where it matters most. Bonus tip 3. Morning intimacy. Your testosterone levels are naturally highest in the morning, typically within an hour of waking. If you and your wife can make time for morning intimacy, even just once or twice a week, you'll often find you have better stamina and intensity. Plus, starting the day with intimate connection sets a wonderful tone for your entire relationship. Critical warnings. If you experience any pain during the PC muscle exercises, stop immediately. You should feel tightening and mild muscle fatigue, but never sharp pain. If you have any prostate issues, urinary problems, or have had pelvic surgery, consult with your urologist before starting these exercises. In most cases, they're completely safe and even beneficial, but your doctor should evaluate your specific situation. Do not overtrain. More is not better. 2 minutes per day is sufficient. Overworking these muscles can cause soreness and temporary dysfunction. And gentlemen, while this method is highly effective, it's not a substitute for addressing any underlying medical conditions. If you have cardiovascular disease, diabetes, or other health issues affecting your intimate function, this technique should complement, not replace, your medical treatment. Section 8. Conclusion and call to action. Gentlemen, we've covered a lot of ground today, so let me bring this all together for you. You don't have to accept declining intimacy as an inevitable part of aging. You don't have to watch your wife's desire fade or feel inadequate in the bedroom. Your body still has everything it needs to provide passionate, satisfying intimacy. You just need to activate it correctly. The 2-minute pelvic control method gives you that activation. 2 minutes of daily PC muscle exercises to rebuild strength and control. The breathing technique to manage arousal and delay climax. The pause and reset method during intimacy to extend stamina as long as you want. This works because it addresses the root cause, weak pelvic muscles and untrained neural control, rather than masking symptoms with pills or supplements. This is natural, free, private, and produces results you'll notice within days. Remember Robert, who went from 5 disappointing minutes to 40 minutes of passionate intimacy? Remember Michael, whose wife started initiating intimacy multiple times per week? These aren't exceptional cases. These are typical results when men commit to this simple daily practice. Tonight, gentlemen, you have an opportunity. You can start the daily exercises today. It takes 2 minutes. If you're planning intimacy tonight or this weekend, use the activation squeezes beforehand and the pause and breathe technique during. Watch your wife's reaction when you last 20, 30, or 40 minutes. See the desire return to her eyes. Feel that deep marital connection that makes decades together feel like the beginning of your relationship all over again. You deserve this. Your wife deserves this. Your marriage deserves this. If this information has helped you, do me a favor. Click that like button below so more men over 60 can discover this technique. Subscribe to my channel because I'll be sharing more discreet, dignified advice for mature men who want to maintain vitality and passion in their marriages. And leave a comment. Just type, "I'm trying this for her." Let me know you're committed to transforming your intimate life naturally.